Over. It was over. Welcome. I invite you to turn to the inside of your annual report. We'll stand and sing the hymn, Transforming Grace.
Amy is our secretary, David is our parliamentarian, did convene the nominating committee this year, and those members of the nominating committee were Michael Wright, Rob Donahue, John Wilson, Tom Jones, Nick Cardokis, Susie Carter, and myself. And we went through a lot of work to deliver a slate to you that Michael will now appoint, or not appoint, but say.
And do we have does everybody have a copy of the nominee sheet? If the nominees are present, would they please stand? Yes. Just read your names.
The nominees for vestry are Dorothy Amis, Catherine Doherty, Jamie Ewing, Cornelia Pelzer, and Robert Sapp.
Now, before we do vote, I'm going to ask the parliamentarian to just know who actually is supposed to be able to vote.
16 years of age, and the financial contribution to the parish, received golden communion 3 times.
Okay, so 16 years of age, known to the treasurer, that's what we use, and also received the Eucharist 3 times in the previous year. Are there any further nominations? If not, would someone move the nominations close? Seconded? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Thank you and congratulations. And do not exit the meeting before coming up, vestry members, because we'll get a picture taken after the meeting. Now, I'll call on Senior Warden SUSIE to introduce the delegates and alternates for diocesan convention.
Good morning and congratulations, new vestry members. The nominees for the delegates to the convention in November are the wardens, the 2 wardens, Joe SCHADY, and we will elect a new warden shortly, Gail DaCosta and Tom Tisdale, our former chancellor. Gail has been liaison to the diocese. The alternates for the delegates to the convention are Steve Scarden and Robert Barra. Both know Grace so well.
Any other nominations for delegates or alternates to convention? If not, would someone move the nominations close? Seconded? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed nay. Congratulations to our delegates and alternates. My report. I just draw your attention to my report, on page 6. And thanks be to God, I will not read it to you. I think you are able to read it. And I think maybe just highlight the titles of it. This last while, we've been continually transitioning because of all that had happened because of the pandemic and COVID-19. And this last year, we've seen almost a complete recovery of most of parish life. Some changes, because some of the changes actually were good and helped us as a community, and I list some of them. So it's all around the returning to normalcy and getting back to some kind of constancy and regularity around program and attendance. In particular last year, the returning churches in the diocese, we were able to be a part of that. That's something I highlighted. The daily Eucharist, something that a place like we should be able to offer, and it has been well received by the community, by you, the congregants, but also by people who now know there's a place to share and take part in the Eucharist every day, Monday through Friday. And so other parishes, visitors from out of town, it's been greatly received. But of course, it's also been a lot of work for people, and in particular, I'll note the Altar Guild. Here is my plea for help. Perhaps you've been feeling a call to the Altar Guild in the last week. Please answer yes. We would like to increase the number of that group simply because so much is going on in that ministry. And let's think about broadening the membership as well. It's tended to be women in the parish, but we now have some men who are a part of it. And I really do believe for families down the road, a great model for Altar Guild would be families, because that would allow parents and children to come and do some work together in the church. No one's around. What a wonderful teaching opportunity. I remember going with my mother to church when she was on Altar Guild, and it was a wonderful time together as we talked about the church and what we were doing. So there are models now that maybe would make more room for a change in terms of membership, not simply asking the same part of the congregation to bring that leadership. So, Altar Guild, end of commercial. The Transforming Grace piece we're going to talk about in a little bit, and maybe I'll just summarize it by saying status quo is not an option. Churches are growing and thriving and moving forward, or they are declining. It's not often that they are stagnant and staying in one place. Transforming Grace is this wonderful opportunity to move forward, and we'll talk about that a little later. But it is our challenge. As I've said to you before, it says in the Gospels it came to pass, it doesn't say it came to stay. And so that's part of what Transforming Grace is going to be for us. Transitions and change, well, we think of our priests, we think of Callie and Bryce, and they've moved on to new responsibilities. Grateful for their presence in our parish, in our life. They're a part of our life in a real way over a number of years. And so we do grieve after they've moved on to their next place. But we all know this is the life of the church, that transitions are part of it, and we can celebrate individuals in ministry, but we also can commend them to their ongoing ministry. And so Callie and Bryce were a big part of that. Transitions, where did the presenter go? Right over there. You know, some go away, some keep on coming back. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So needless to say, we're grateful for the ongoing life and ministry of this place. And a special shout out to our deacons the last while for all the extra work they've been doing because of the shortage of our priests. Special time for our family this last year. I want to say a shout out to you concerning the marriage of our daughter Julian and Graf Wilson. That happened in May. I snuck a little picture in near the end of the annual report as a way of just saying thank you for all the contributions that were made by this community to make that day a very special day. And don't get used to me being in that role and not at the front of the church, okay? So I was the father of the bride that day, but I'm able to do other roles as well. But thank you. And of course, I leave my last thanks, most important, to Marguerite for all you've done in this last year to support, tolerate, embrace my ministry in this place. I could not do it without you, and I thank you very much. Cathedral Service Award. This award is given annually, and what it is, if I could, I would give out 100 of them every year, because there are so many people who do the work in this community, and it's behind the scenes. It's not up front. This award was made for those people. They model for us the ministry of faithfulness behind the scenes, behind the stage. And it's important that we recognize these people, and in recognizing them, we're actually recognizing a large body of people who are doing the same thing. And we've simply chosen a person here and a person there because they are modeling it for us, and they remind us that this is going on an ongoing basis. So, this year's, in recognition of your years of faithfulness and devoted service, Grace Church Cathedral presents the Cathedral Service Award to Bob Norton. Would you come forward, please? at the man. All this work being done, other work, he's always in the room, he's always doing it. Let me just say this. For all you have done to build up the body of Christ in this place, so much of what you have done has been done away from the light and behind the scenes. But because of your tireless efforts, so much gets accomplished. Your church family has noticed this and finds in you an example that the rest of us benefit from following. You are a living reminder of our Lord Jesus Christ's call to service. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Bob, thank you for all that you are and all that you do. Thank you. Well, the last thing I forgot, gotcha.
Oh, yeah, right.
Good. That's yours.
Oh, that's right.
Warden's report, Susie and Joe.
All right, it's me again. So, as to what kind of Michael said earlier, it's all here. If you guys want to read it, I'm not going to read it. It's pretty well done. Susie wrote it, so it's much better than what I would have done. But I do want to point out a few things, just like Michael said. This has been a real year of coming back to normalcy and also of transitions. And we just kind of really want to thank the clergy for guiding us through that. Also the city and the diocese for always being there for us and supporting us. And then also, which we'll do a little bit more later, but the staff has been phenomenal through this past year. Some of the things that we've talked about is Callie moving on to lead St. John's, which has been a blessing for that community. And I really thank all of us that have supported her in that transition for her. For Bryce moving on, and then Rob returning. So it's been very interesting. In addition to that, things have gone back to normal. We have community suppers now back on Wednesdays, Grace to Go. All these things that kind of put on hold for the past couple of years have now kind of come back and are very strong. So I want to thank everybody for supporting those, and we look forward to having more of them as we progress forward. Some of the other things that have kind of happened through the year is 115. As you can see, we have a little bit more parking over there on that corner of Cumming and Wentworth. So we deconstructed one of the buildings to open up some more parking. And we have some work to do on the remaining building there. So we are in talks about what that's going to happen to. And then also, one last thing. Hold on. I want to talk about how it looks like we've gone through this whole thing kind of very easily and transitioned nicely without very much kind of thought about it. And the staff and the clergy are incredibly good at making us see all that it's seamless, but it's not. It's hard work, and I just want to thank them again. We've done a lot of work on budgeting, the financials, the stewardship, and all of that stuff that make this place operate so well. And I just want to thank everybody for participating in that and also keeping up the good work. And lastly, I am going to miss Susie because she is moving on. And, and I asked, first of all, thank you so much. She's been a great help for me in my first year as this. As I tell a joke, I have so many Susans in my life right now, my wife, Susie, and Sue Cromwell, that every time I try to call my wife Susan in the car, I call Susie.
We're very close.
And I will miss her greatly, and I just thank you. And I ask you for your patience with me as I am moving into her position.
Thank you.
I agree with everything he said. The other people that we have to thank are you all. You are the reason we agreed to do this. You are the reason this clergy and this staff work so hard. You make it all work. So give yourselves a hand, please.
Yes.
Because you're the best.
Thank you. In our bylaws, it is my privilege to present at the annual meeting. I nominate an individual for a 2-year term. What's happened, the tradition is that in nominating a person for a 2-year term, the first year they serve as junior or people's warden, and then I'm happy to then invite them to be deans or senior warden the second year. So I place before you today the name of Clara Heinsohn, and where is Clara? Okay, thank you, Clara. Not a stranger to this place, and what she brings in terms of her history to this place, but also the ministries of which she's passionate about, particular outreach in Meminger. She brings a multiplicity of skills and is also a recent a graduate of the Grace Vestry as well. So I'm grateful that she's let her name stand for this position, and I ask at this point, are there any other nominees for warden? If not, I would ask if someone would move that nominations cease. So moved. Seconded? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Congratulations, and get down here. Come on down. Give me the chair. Give me the chair. No. Rob, chair. Chair. Right. Too late now to turn around, Clara. Sorry.
Here, I'll move over. I'll move over here.
Here, where would you like
We
me
got
to
it
sit?
right over here.
Okay. Hey, David, good to see you.
Seat of honor.
Oh, I can hear.
And just as it's too late for Clara to turn back, Dean's Warden, thank you for all you've done this past year, and it has been a great pleasure to work with you, but the leadership you brought to a whole bunch of things, you're modest about it, but we've seen it going on, so thank you, and I'm pleased that you are to be my warden this coming year.
that.
Can we thank Joe?
And Clara, here's the pen.
Yeah. You're official.
Okay, thank you.
Financial reports. Our finance chair and treasurer.
I'm going to stand here, and if any
Microphone.
difficulty hearing me, let me know. Our reports are on.
And here.
Thank you. Hello? Okay. Our reports are on page 37 and 38 of your program. If there are any questions, Cornelia can answer them, and I can help her answer them. But we've had a year of transition, lots of changes in finance at Grace Church. Dolly Galt came on. Dolly, I think, is sitting over here somewhere as Director of Finance. And also we changed systems. We went from ACS to Realm. So there was a lot of work in getting everything and everybody up to speed. But it's gone well. Cornelia is extraordinarily helpful and does that was not a slip of the tongue. Cornelia is helpful, and I'm very thankful to have had her guidance and leadership this past year. Cornelia, you want to add anything?
Well, of course, we owe a great deal of thanks to our indefatigable treasurer, Lynn, who really every day is involved in the treasury here. I wanted to thank all who work in the finance area, the counters on Monday morning, the finance committee, the trustees committee. There are a lot of people involved in this. And Joe, many thanks to you for the amazing budget that was done this year, and it balances. Thank you.
Now, first of all, any questions for the treasurer, the finance chair? I do want to do a shout out to Dolly, wherever she is. Again, behind the scenes, I swear she's probably dreaming of numbers every night, and it's our numbers. So thank you very much, Dolly, for that work, that leadership that got us to this place. The reality is that during the pandemic, I mean, there was a real struggle moving from there through here. Our givings, our stewardship was always going in the right direction, but there was a kind of leveling that took place during the stewardship piece, and we're now seeing a bit of a change of that back to where it needs to go. But just what Joe said earlier, this is not happening because the funds fall from heaven into our offering plates. It's because there's been a constant attention to our finance and stewardship, and we'll continue to do that, especially as we move into the Transforming Grace campaign, and we're counting on your continued generous support to make this happen. But I'm aware, as you see these numbers, that the amount of hours of work that's gone into this, I greatly appreciate it, and I thank you for that. Could we simply have a motion to receive the numbers in the annual report as they are presented? Seconded? All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. You also have, for information purposes, the proposed, or the budget that was approved at the January vestry meeting for your attention. I think it's now time for our Transforming Grace presentation. We talked about it last year. We've been talking about it probably for 20 years, the need for more space. Now, the advantage of this program and capital campaign instead of the past one, the past one, I do remember the fundraisers saying, so you need to raise $12 million, and when all the work's done, it'll look exactly the same. Aren't you lucky? That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about Transforming Grace and what it will do to this place, not only in the addition of the Cathedral Center over here in the garden, but also the renovation of the Johnson Building. And so we're going to see something from this campaign that we never really did get to see before. What we did before was necessary. This is necessary for our growing congregation. If Candy is around, are we ready to show the video? Yes. Would it be helpful to dim the lights? Okay. I think I know who can do that. So, Candy, do you want to say anything about the video before it starts? Candy Good is our... Tell me the actual name of the...
Director of Stewardship and Campaign.
Yeah, two hats, Director of Stewardship and the Campaign for Transforming Grace Leadership. Candy has been an incredible addition to our staff, especially as it relates to this, but also the stewardship piece I was just mentioning. And because of her, we have a video to talk about Transforming Grace.
This video is a compilation of many hours of interviews with fellow parishioners who were kind enough to sit in and talk about why they're supporting the campaign. We ended up with about an hour and a half of video, and we've been able to reduce it down to about 6 minutes to share with you. All of the individual videos, because the interviews were so well done, will be on the website, which is now live for Transforming Grace, which is can be found on the Grace Church website. So, we have a little technical difficulties earlier today. We're going to have 2 televisions, so bear with me. We are down to 1, but I think everybody will be able to see it. And if you missed some of it, you can find it on the website.
What I love most about Grace Church is the culture of acceptance that's here at the church.
Church has just been fantastic. We have been very active members since 2006 and have loved every minute of it.
Grace, to me, is like coming home. It's profound.
So I think the one thing above everything is the people.
Grace was like a magnet. for both my wife and me.
It really is a culture. I think it's visible within our clergy, our parishioners, the programs and services that we offer. And it's a really beautiful thing to see and to be a part of.
It's my privilege today to speak to you about Transforming Grace, which is our capital campaign for the renewal of our space at Grace, as well as the expansion and the growth for necessary space in our new building next to the cathedral. This is really nothing new for Grace Church Cathedral. If you know our history, we're always about what's next and moving towards what God is calling us to do.
60-odd people in 1846 decided to build a church that seated 600 people. That was a leap of faith. We now have over 2,000 parishioners, and we're busting at the seams. So Transforming Grace is not as much of a leap of faith as our forefathers took in the 1840s.
Transforming Grace campaign is a joy for me as well. There is not a ministry, there's not a person at Grace that won't benefit from this campaign.
So what I'm telling people about the campaign is a simple message. If you asked people who are going to church all across America that if they could raise $10 million and by doing so they would have a vibrant, growing, and thriving church, they would say, where do I sign up? Let's give to that. We don't have to do that. We already have the opportunity. We already have the place. We already have that vibrant, living, growing congregation. All we have to do is help accommodate it, better serve it, and then allow us as a community to better serve the community around us.
And now it's time to actually make a major investment in some of the other non-cathedral structures. And we're happy to pledge to bring that to fruition.
I'm really excited about this Transforming Grace campaign because I just believe it's going to give us so much more space that we need. Grace, unlike many other churches, is growing, and we're running out of space.
We feel like this campaign will be a great use of resources so that the church can use the space that we have more efficiently and just make room for all these great people that are coming to our church.
Members of the vestry at Grace were asked to pledge, and I think that that was something that all of us felt not just obliged to do, but even privileged.
So Catherine and I support the Transforming Grace campaign because we believe in the mission of Grace Church. We believe in the growth and the health and the vibrancy of Grace Church.
I'm most excited about the Transforming Grace campaign because it's going to give a larger space for our community. A lot of times churches have trouble getting people in the door. That's not a problem here at Grace Church.
We're happy to support the Transforming Grace campaign because we believe it's going to provide a wonderful space for our church and its community. So we have done that. We want to continue to support the campaign as best we can. And the best part about having a church of this size is it provides a lot of opportunities for people to help. Even if it's a little bit, every little bit helps.
This is a campaign not for a few, but for everyone in the parish. There is no gift too small to give to this endeavor.
From day one, this place has been about two things: worship and service. Transforming Grace will allow us to do both in a more intentional way, in a better way, to serve the life of the wider community. So, you know me, I can't just talk about it, I've got to write a poem about it. So let me just give you these words, what Transforming Grace means to me. The time has come to pray again, to name the gift of grace, and then, so much to love, to share and know, a future lived with roots to grow. The life of saints now called to pen another chapter another blend of worship service left undone, to love and give for those who come, and now called to pay the price, to live God's call to sacrifice, for good and God and in our day, to make our mark, and not just say, but work and name the cause we serve, to build and shape where all deserve the love of God given in this place. Transform us, Lord, this home called grace.
Asked to pledge, and I think that that was something that all of us felt not just obliged to do, but even privileged.
So Catherine and I support the Transforming Grace campaign because we believe in the mission of Grace Church. We believe in the growth and the health and the vibrancy of Grace Church.
I'm most excited about the Transforming Grace campaign because it's going to give a larger space for our community. A lot of times churches have trouble getting people in the door. That's not a problem here at Grace Church.
We are happy to support the Transforming Grace campaign because we believe it's going to provide a wonderful space for our church and its community. So we have done that. We want to continue to support the campaign as best we can. And the best part about having a church of this size is it provides a lot of opportunities for people to help the community a little bit, every little bit more.
This is a campaign not for a few, but for everyone in the parish. There is no gift too small to give to this endeavor.
From day one, this place has been about two things: worship and service. Transforming Grace will allow us to do both in a more intentional way, in a better way, to serve the life of the wider community. So, you know me, I can't just talk about it, I've got to write a poem about it. So let me just give you these words. What Transforming Grace means to me. The time has come to pray again, to name the gift of grace, and then, so much to love, to share and know, a future lived with roots to grow. The life of saints now called to pen, another chapter, another blend of worship, service left undone, to love and give for those who come. And now called to pay the price, to live God's call to sacrifice, for good in God and in our day, to make our mark, and not just say, but work and name the cause we serve, to build and shape where all deserve the love of God given in this place. Transform us, Lord, this home called grace. Let there be light. Candy, thank you. That will be available on the website.
Yes, sir.
You can access, and it's part of our beginning. I'm going to call the co-chairs of the campaign. Yeah, Susie thought she was getting out of something. Susie Carter and where's Lenny Blevins to come forward to the lectern, please?
Andy, thank you for that video. It was great fun. Lenny and I did not plan to both wear pink. It was a freak. I also want you to know, in addition to this video, there will be a video dedicated to children and youth, and that is in progress right now. So.
You want to share an announcement as well?
We do.
We do. As of Friday, and we're not going to say as of the day because we're hoping to get some collections today, but as of Friday of the $10 million goal, we have pledges and contributions of $5,018,199.
And to show you how this community is supporting this transformation of our beloved Grace, the Little School auction, which is every other year, the Little School auction this year will benefit Transforming Grace because the Little School will benefit so much from what's happening or what will happen as we transform. Do you want to talk about the small groups?
I will.
We'll believe them.
Okay.
So, first of all, just that number, as we move into the public phase, we're halfway there. And that we're hoping that that beginning will give us the momentum necessary to move into the public phase over the next few months. Because of that, we're going to be doing a few things, in particular on February the 26th, on Sunday morning. We're going to have a day which is about explaining Transforming Grace and what it's going to be doing to the property around Grace. So come to church on Sunday, regular services, but in between, you're going to wander around to different parts and it'll show you, you'll go to a place, for instance, my favorite is you go to the acolytes room, what we affectionately call the closet. This little, and you'll see in a picture or access to what the new room will look like. You'll go over here where Croft Hall is, and you'll see what the new hall will look like, and the rooms and so on. You'll go around to different parts of the church, and while you're there and see what it is now, you will see Hanahan Hall transformed into a chapel multi-person room, but you'll see pictures of that. And the whole point is, it's not a time where we're asking for our pledges to continue. By the way, if you want to give them, that's fine. But it's all around information. What does this include? And then you're going to be invited to some group meetings in parishioners' homes or here at the church. And again, it's not a meeting where you're coming and we're going to do our spiel and we hope at the end of it that you're going to pledge. It's not a time for asking. It's simply a time for, in small groups, for Lenny and Susie and myself to be there to answer any questions you might have, talk about the program, what it involves, what the campaign, not only our goals, the length of the campaign, and so on. And so when you hear about those groups, please say yes, please sign up and join a group somewhere in the community, because the whole purpose is to get as much of this information out to as many people as possible. And you do the math, when it comes to contributing, that's going to mean the campaign will be that much more successful. Anything you want to add, Lenny or Susie? Right.
Candy, are they on the website yet?
They are. You can RSVP by going to the Transforming Grace website. Again, under the umbrella of the home website for Grace Church Cathedral. And you can RSVP, and for, I think there's probably about 10 right now out there, and we'll continue to add them over the next several weeks.
And let me just add, if any of you wish a conversation about the campaign, possible contribution, or questions, I'm available 24/7 to meet with you one-to-one if you'd like to have any kind of conversation about it. Prefer morning, afternoon, early evening, but if it's 3 in the morning, we'll talk. Whatever works for you. Yeah. I think the good judge has suggested we could have a meeting at Waffle House, if that works for you. I'm always up for that. Excellent. Any other questions? I think this is a glorious beginning for this campaign. I'm grateful for the support already, and I'm encouraged as we move forward in this campaign. Thank you to our co-chairs and to the members of our executive committee for Transforming Grace. We're on agenda item number 13. That is the clergy, staff, and committee reports. They are included in the annual report. I will not go through them, but I do think this is it's an incredible series of reports when you think about all the work that's been done in all of the various aspects. And what we've tried to do and we continue to do is, where are the gaps? Are there gaps in ministry? We are looking at some right now in various areas of our congregation, always looking to fill places where there's a particular need. But thank you for all those reports and for all the staff and lay leaders that have made those reports possible for you. I'm going to call upon Susie to recognize the retiring vestry members.
These folks have served all of us for 3 years, and that's a bunch of meetings. Each one has been a liaison to a certain group or committee or set of groups. And we present to each outgoing person a thank you Book of Common Prayer with a plate in it recognizing their service. and they don't get to keep it, but they can put it anywhere they want in the cathedral. Are the books here? Are they, Joe, I think they're here.
Rob's going to get
Do you all remember Blockbuster Video? You know, you had to return and so phase A was you got it to your car, and then phase B was maybe 3 weeks later you got it to Blockbuster from your car. Well, that's what we're doing here. This is phase B. We have the books. And as I call your names, if you would come forward, Mary Robb Copeland has served graciously for the little school and done a fabulous job. I know Lisa's sorry to lose her. Gail DaCosta was our diocesan liaison, which was very fitting because she was the wife of a priest and understands all kinds of things we don't get. Pat Hunter ran Gills for us and has done a wonderful job. She didn't run Gills, she reported on Gills. Tom Jones, stewardship, a Lion's job, fabulous, just back from South America. And Cornelia Pelzer, who rolls off but rolled right back on. Cornelia filled a one-year term for OC, who left us and went back to North Carolina, so she was eligible to come back, and we weren't about to let her go. Finance.
And we actually have a Book of Common Prayer for the retiring warden. 3 years times 2 plus 1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to our retiring vestry members. Call upon Joe SCHADY for the recognition of staff.
So, as I said before, the staff is so awesome in this place that we just want to say a big thank you. And also, I'd love if we can have all the staff members
Who are
stand
present,
up.
of the staff members present, would they stand, please? That involves some people over here, over here.
And there's been, just as kind of a theme, transition as we go, new staff members coming on, old staff members moving off. But all that stays constant is the hard work that they do. And so I just everyone a big round of applause.
Okay. Recognition of the retiring warden. So, needless to say,
Murder of the retiring warden.
well, where does it go?
I don't know.
Okay. So, are we? Do we have the video? Good. Needless to say, I'm not sure I can say an appropriate thank you for all the work that Susie's done over a number of years. But I'm going to try to do it by saying I had to find a unique gift for her. And I did find it. That's the good news. The bad news, it's somewhere on the Atlantic Ocean right now being transported. You know, we only ordered it about 6-8 weeks ago, but it may take a little while longer. What it is what our forebears in the English church have called a warden's wand. And thanks to Rob Donahue, I have what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
And it just seemed appropriate because she waved her magic wand many times and got things done. When it finally arrives, I will appropriately present it to her. The choice was, what do you put on the top? Well, obviously, if it's Susie, it's got to be a mitre. Okay, so it's going to arrive soon. We have a picture of it from where it's coming. It says all we need to say in terms of her role of leadership and service. Serving is important in the life of the church. Leading is important in the life of the church. To get them together in one person we're very fortunate. So this is the first gift, but in lieu of the actual gift being present, I think someone else is coming out with a suitable gift for right now. Here comes Sue. You may recall recently our own Bruce Nelsmith painted a lovely painting. Here's what we have. Is it giclée, did I pronounce that properly? Of what Bruce did. So you get that. Thanks to Susie Carter, big time.
Down. For heaven's sakes. Thank you all. Thank you all very much. Outside of my family, this has been the biggest honor I have ever had, and I thank you. I have learned so much. I have grown so much in my faith. I thank Michael. I thank Callie. I thank Caleb. I thank Bryce. I thank Rob. The things up with which you have put with me have been amazing. I have loved. I have enjoyed most moments. I have learned every moment, and I sincerely thank each and every one of you for letting me do this and letting me have this honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that they gave me the stick after I'm out.
She said she gets the stick, but only after she's out. I'm not stupid. Is there any old business? Any new business? What I will ask is, we have one more bit of business. Let me pass that. Just one last little duty to do it. Okay. In recognition of your faithfulness as canon presenter of Grace Church Cathedral and in celebration of your ministry of leadership, Robertson Carr Donahue is hereby named the Subdean of Grace Church Cathedral. He was already sitting in the chair, but I don't think he thought it was coming. So, if we had a motion to adjourn, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Two last things. The subdean will close us in prayer, and they will stand and sing the Grace Church hymn that's inside the back cover, a page or so. That's how we will conclude our meeting. Thanks be to God. Subdean.
Let us pray. Grant us, O Lord, the lamp of love, which never grows dim, that it may shine in us and warm our hearts, and give light to others through our love for them. And by its brightness, may we have a vision of the holy city, where the true and inextinguishable light shines. Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.